Welcome to this week's Arkansas Football Recruiting Report. I'm Nick Petriccioni, as always, joined by our Hogville insider, Otis Kirk. Otis, it's all about class of 2023 and one more in the future today. We got 4 recruits that we want to hit on. So let's go right in and jump in. And starts with Caden McDonald. And you say you kind of have a cool connection to
Yeah,
this defensive tackle out of Georgia.
yeah, he's he's six he's 6'3", 325 pounds. He's a 4-star. He's from Sewanna, North Gwinnett High School. His dad is one of the best basketball players I've ever seen play in Arkansas. He's Jason McDonald, and he was not that big. I mean, he was not a big power forward or anything. Jason was a guard, and he was a great one, man. I mean, I'm telling you, when I was at the Mina Star, I didn't cover Saratoga, but I covered the Class B schools. And I know there's not Class B now, but they were then. Hatfield, Vancouver, Wicks, and Akron. Anyway, I got to see Jason play a ton of times. And like I say, he's one of the best I've ever seen. And that's his son. His mother, uh, uh, Caden's mother's from Mineral Springs. They got married. Her and Jason got married and moved to Georgia. But he's Arkansas offered him on Thursday, I believe it was. And he like I said, he's got 25 to 30 offers. Big time player, man, Nick. And I mean, this is a kid that's 4-star, and he can ride his own ticket to college. He can go anywhere he wants to. Georgia obviously has offered, Michigan State, and most of the schools
Wow.
have offered, and many more will be. But like I said, he's approaching 30 offers. But if he's got any of the athleticism that his dad had, I mean, I'm telling you, this kid can play. And like I said, his dad was a guard, wasn't that big, but boy, I tell you what, it's weird because Jason was just one of the best basketball players I ever covered, and I was telling Caden about that. We had a good laugh. I mean, he's heard stories obviously about his dad, but I saw it firsthand. I mean, he was just unbelievable. He could do things with a basketball. I'm trying. I don't know, Allen Iverson maybe at that time. I
Oh,
mean,
that's a comparison.
he can do a lot. I'm not saying he's good as Allen Iverson, but I'm saying when you watch this kid play, that's kind of one of the guys you thought of was Allen Iverson. That was back, like I said, I was in Mena at the time, but obviously he wasn't as good as Allen
And
Iverson. He was a
Allen
great.
Allen Iverson was a great football player too.
Yeah, what
Some
year?
say even better than he was at
1991. I remember that.
basketball.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Well,
kid's going big places.
you got to be excited if you're Arkansas to have that hometown connection in a sense, even though it's all the way in Georgia. A lot of top 25 schools are calling. It helps when both parents are from the natural state. All right, Caden
Yeah,
McDonald, a guy to watch. Next to watch on the other side of the trenches is offensive tackle Connor Stroh from
yeah.
Texas, class of 2023. What can you tell us about the Frisco native?
You move Connor over on the other side of the line and let him block Caden. I get Connor 6'7", 350. These are two big kids. I'm glad I don't have to feed either one of them. But Connor's from Frisco, Wakeland. He came to the Prospect Day, Junior Day, whatever you want to call it, on January the 15th up here at Arkansas. It was the first one they had this year. Arkansas offered him then. He didn't announce it for a few days, but he's got offers to Texas, Baylor, Florida State, Colorado, I mean, Kansas, Missouri, SMU, Indiana. He's got a Baylor, I think I mentioned, but if I didn't, they've offered. He's got a ton of offer. He went to a camp this past yesterday, actually. He went to a camp yesterday down there, power uh, power camp, for linemen and stuff. And he got the offensive line MVP. So uh, Connor is somebody that Arkansas is all over. Cody Kennedy's recruiting him hard. And when I say 6'7", 350, I'm talking about legit. I'm not talking about hype. It gets there,
At
he's
that
6'3".
age, too.
Yeah, I saw him.
2023, already that big.
I've met Connor and his parents in person. And I'm telling you, that Frisco Wakeland is where he's from. That's legit size, and he's got legit talent. I think if I remember right, and I think he had 5 offers when he was here. I think Arkansas was his 5th. Now he's got 9, and so you see which way he's trending. It's going upward, and it's going to continue to go up because he got MVP at that camp yesterday. He's just a great football player and somebody that Arkansas would love to. They'd love to add any of these
Mhm.
kids I'm talking about today, Nick. So I mean, it goes without saying they'd love to add, but no, I mean they've got schools. They've got to beat Texas. They got to beat Baylor. They've
Mhm.
got to beat SMU. They've got to be some good schools down there, and not even counting Florida. Florida State. But they're trying, and they've got a chance. He had a great visit here, and he likes the fact that Sam Pittman is the head coach, was an offensive line coach previously. He says, if I come to Arkansas, I know I'll be taken care of on the offensive line. He's very impressed with Cody Kennedy as well. So Arkansas has that going for him, and I wouldn't rule them out on this kid. I'm not saying they'll get him. It's too early, but I wouldn't rule him out on him at all, even though he has an offer to Texas.
Yeah, we'll see how many more letters he gets in the mail from other schools. Always hard to compete when you're out of state. Helps when you establish that connection early. But let's go in state now to a homegrown talent. I've heard this name before, Otis. It's Quincy Rhodes, North Little Rock, class of 2023.
Yeah, this kid that played at Jacksonville last year, Nick, was a great player, but Jacksonville's program was a little down. So he transferred over to North Little Rock, and North Little Rock hired last year. They hired the Maumelle defensive line coach, Coach Nellums, and I'm telling you, he's one of the best high school defensive line coaches in the business. He had Nico the year before for Maumelle. Quincy is about 6'6", 253 pounds, and he's got offers to Arkansas. Yeah, they offered him. He was here the 22nd at the junior day. He got offered Arkansas State, Memphis, and Coach Prime at Jackson State's offered him. So he's got 4 offers. He'll start. I mean, they're going to be more. He's a 4-star. He's a 4-star with Rivals.com. Defensive end. I mean, this is a kid that could also play tight end if needed, but I think he's going to concentrate more on defense. I think defense is his calling, and we'll see how he does. But he's going to be at North Little Rock this year. He's already getting more exposure, and that's going to work out pretty good for him. And Arkansas is hoping to get a commitment from him, obviously.
Quincy Rhodes, defensive end, now at North Little Rock, class of 2023. That wraps up 2023. Let's go 1 year into the future. A guy you want to talk about in 24. Another homegrown Arkansas product, Brian Huff.
Yeah, a linebacker, 6'3", 6'4", about 207 pounds. He's a kid that came to the junior day on January the 29th, prospect day. He's from Valley View, Arkansas, which is over in eastern Arkansas. He had 72 tackles this season. Arkansas was the first. He didn't have any offers for this year recently, and Arkansas jumped on board on January the 25th. He was here the 29th, but they offered on the 25th, the same day Arkansas offered. Arkansas State offered him, and then Memphis has offered since then. So he's got three offers. He's going to get more. He's a 2024 linebacker, and he's another kid I've met in person. And he's got legit height. I mean, that's the size I'm talking about on these kids is legit. I mean, I've seen most of them in person. I haven't seen Caden yet, but I will. But Brian is just an athletic linebacker who can run. Coach Shearer really liked him. He said when he was here that Coach Odom said, "I want you to come here and play for me," and so, and that stuck with him. He liked that, and he likes what Arkansas has to offer. He said he was surprised that Arkansas was his first offer. He didn't think they would be his first. He was tickled to death. He got it, but he just didn't. He didn't think Arkansas would probably be his first offer. So, and he was pleasantly surprised. That was a pleasant surprise. But this is a kid that very active player, very active linebacker. And a lot of times in Arkansas, you don't see a kid this size play linebacker. This is a credit to his high school coach. He's not putting him on the line or something, because he's tall and stuff. He's letting him play his natural position of linebacker. And I'm not knocking coaches that don't do that, because you have to do what you have to do to win. Their job's on the line, just like mine, yours, or any other, or like Sam Pittman, any coach. So I understand they're doing what they have to do, but it is a credit to the high school coach at Valley View that he's letting this kid play linebacker and play his natural position where he will play in college. And who knows, maybe beyond college. He's got a lot of talent. And for a sophomore to have 72 tackles and be as active as he was, 2 forced fumbles, 2 recovered fumbles. I could go on and on about his stats, 9 tackles for losses. I mean, he knows he's got a nose for the football. And if you're a linebacker, that's the main thing, have a nose for the football, because he's got instincts of a linebacker, and playing that in high school will only allow him to develop those instincts more, Nick. And so I'm really proud of him getting to do that.
4 up, 4 down. Brian Huff looking like a promising prospect for the future. What I see from this list, Otis, and what you've harped on, size.
Yeah.
The size is across the board with these 4 prospects. Even a sophomore to be that big at what he is now, surpassing 200 pounds. Arkansas is going after some big guys, and you have to in the SEC. And
yeah, Caden at 6'3" is the runt, man. I mean, if we're really talking about, we're talking about 6'3", 325-pound nose.
and you're the small guy. Yeah.
And he's the runt, man, at 6'3". He's looking up at these other kids. And I'm telling you, Connor Stroh, that is legit at 6'7", 350. Now his weight will fluctuate. I understand that, 345, 350. But I'm telling you, he's 6'7". That is legit. And he's a big kid. And all these kids are. And Brian, I think what he measured over here was 6'2.5" without shoes. So that made him 6'3.5" with shoes because they play in cleats. So I'm listing him at 6'3.5", 6'4". But I mean, he was 6'2.5" barefoot. So I mean, what I'm saying on these kids, the size is legit. It's not something hyped up. It's legit. These are kids that's been up here and except for Caden, and he will be here. But I know, like I said, if Caden's got any of the athleticism of his dad, that he's a heck of a football player. And obviously he does have that many offers and already be a 4-star.
We'll see how many they can get on campus between these four. Otis, thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday. Enjoy the Super Bowl. That'll wrap up
Rams.
That'll wrap up our Arkansas football recruiting report. See you next week.
Thanks, man.